So I entered the U.S. With my green card like in 2014 April. I was arrested for false information, for giving like the wrong ID.
Why?
Excuse me?
Why were you giving out wrong ID?
Okay, so I was driving and then they asked me, it was my first time, they asked me of my ID. And then my insurance was on my friend's name.
All right.
So
sorry. Okay, so you got your,
pressure,
okay. All right, I got it. So 2014, you came with your green card. You gave cop a false ID for some insurance reason when you got pulled over by a cop in a car. And what year was this?
It was 2014.
Also, the same year you got to America.
Yeah, like that was my first time.
Okay.
So I really didn't know what. I just gave it to him.
I got it, Edmund. Is that your only time you've ever been arrested?
That is the only time.
Okay. What were you ultimately found guilty of?
Okay, so they took. I went to court, and then I was convicted of disorderly conduct, misdemeanor, and I was put on probation for 1 year.
Where did this happen? Where did this happen?
It just happened last year.
What state?
It's Minnesota.
Okay. I don't know the penal code of Minnesota, but when I hear disorderly conduct, at least in New York, it's a violation. It's not a criminal act. You said disorderly conduct misdemeanor. Maybe in Minnesota it's a misdemeanor, but generally misdemeanors with no jail time is a petty offense. So I would tell you on a general note, because I don't know Minnesota penal law off the top of my head, on a general note, it sounds like you're going to be okay. You want to be 100% certain, have a consultation with me. Let me look up Minnesota penal law for you. Okay?
Okay. So they made me pay a fine of $700, and then that was it. So,
all right, so then my answer doesn't change. My answer doesn't change. It's the same answer.
Okay.
Okay, so the answer is, it sounds like you're okay. I don't know Minnesota penal law off the top of my head, but it sounds like you either have a violation or a misdemeanor with no jail time, which is generally a petty offense in almost every state. If you want to be certain, I don't know. I would have to look up Minnesota penal law, and I can't do that when I have hundreds and hundreds of people looking at me at this very moment. Okay, so in case you check Minnesota and then it let me say like a misdemeanor, like a crime or something, but is disorderly conduct, am I still good to go or something? If it is not a criminal offense or it is a one-time petty offense, you're good.
So if it is a criminal offense?
If it is not a criminal offense or if it is a petty offense, which is the most minimal type of criminal case you could have, conviction you could have. The definition of a petty offense is if the judge wanted to throw the book at you. He said, this is the most horrible misdemeanor I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm going to throw you in jail for more than 1 year. And then it's not a petty offense. If the judge wanted to throw the book at you and say, I'm going to give you the maximum jail time, and on the books, the maximum jail time is like 90 days in jail, that's a petty offense. That is why I got to look up the law. I can't give you any more of an answer than I am right this very moment. Okay, I have another question.
Sure. So he said if you break the probation, with this kind of convict, you're going to go to jail for 6 months. And that is the maximum I can go. And then I passed the probation is 1 year now. It's passed. That's why. So
Edmund, again, as I said, based on what you're telling me, it sounds like it is a petty offense or it's a non-criminal offense. I don't know 100. I'm 95% certain. Okay, it's the best I can give you.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Hold on if you need help. Hold on if you need help.
I came in 2014 to the state of Texas, and I went to DMV, and for a driver license, they also offered me the voter registration form. I filled it out. I didn't mark that I'm a U.S. citizen.
Right. You filled out voter registration when you had a green card as a citizen. Right.
And I voted like twice. I found out that it's unlawful. I canceled it.
Right.
And so I'm about to apply for my citizenship. What will happen?
Well, they could. Well, one of three things. You could have absolutely not knowingly done anything wrong, and you can be fine. You could have signed something that says I'm a U.S. citizen, and then you voted as a U.S. citizen in an election, and then you've now made a false claim to U.S. citizenship, and you got a big problem. I don't know. So we gotta see what was done, and the only way is to do a little investigation and figure this all out. So it could be nothing. It could be something very serious, or something in between. I don't have the answer. So I see exactly what you did and what you filled out. Okay. In certain circumstances, when I say you could have a very serious offense, we are not at this moment having an attorney-client privileged conversation.
I filed for VAWA 2017 December, and recently my husband, because we know divorce, got back again talking with me, and I didn't tell him I filed for VAWA, though. So he called me and he asked what the status of my paper is, and that he's willing to file for me again. And as we're talking, I was just watching your show, and I found out that an REF, I think RFE was sent to me. I just saw it online now, so I don't know. I said, let me find out. Is it okay to pull out or proceed with it?
Well, let me ask you a question. Okay, you filed a VAWA case. Okay, and obviously your husband was abusive to you. Whether it reached the level of abuse to get the VAWA case approved, I don't know. Okay, so maybe there was physical abuse, maybe there was extreme emotional abuse.
Yeah, hello.
Okay, but my question to you is, what makes you? And this has nothing to do with immigration. This is more just about you and your life and what you're thinking of doing. What makes you believe that you had all these problems with your husband before, that you had to break up the marriage, that you had to file a VAWA case, he was abusive to you? What makes you believe that if you get back together with him, the same thing won't happen again? You filed an abuse case against your husband. He was obviously
He's an American citizen, yeah.
Wonderful. He was obviously abusive to you. Physically, extreme emotional abuse. You filed this.
Yes.
You kicked him out of the house, or he left the house, or you left the house, whatever the situation is. And now you filed this application. It was bad enough that you filed this application. Now you talk to your husband again, and he says, oh, I'm sorry, it's okay. And you're like, oh, I'm going to bring him back. And my question to you is, and this has nothing to do with immigration, this is about your life and what's going through your head and the decisions you're going to be making in life. And my question to you is, what makes you believe that this man is not going to be abusive to you when you bring him back? What has changed?
Nothing, just his word.
Why would you take him back? You think zebras change their stripes?
No, I won't.
Okay. So what I would suggest you do, okay, is see what this RFE says, have a consultation with me, and let's see if you have a viable case to move forward on the VAWA case. I'm just telling you, listen, you can take him back, okay, and maybe everything will be great. I could be 100% wrong. I have no idea. I'm just telling you, just based on my own life experiences, people are people. Okay, you are who you are. So unless you go to therapy, marriage counseling, anger management, something has to change in this man's life and your life to make something different. Other than that, you're gonna have the same thing happen again. My opinion.
Yes, I just saw a mail today.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So wait for the RFE. Wait for the RFE. See what happens. You know, obviously, you want to talk to the man. Go talk to him. I'm not telling you not to be in love. You're in love with the man. Wonderful. I'm just telling you to think. That's all. All right.
Yes.
Wait
and
for
now
the
I have an RFE.
Okay. I hear you. We're now going back to your immigration. You haven't received it in the mail yet. It'll be in the mail.
No, I haven't.
It will be in the mail in the next few days. When you get it, call my office, set up a consultation, let me read it, and then we'll figure out what to do. All right?
Okay. All right.
I have a problem with my wife. I'm married to her 3 years, but I'm in the USA 4 years. We have a 1-year-old baby together, and she hit me, and then I pressed charge on her. They take me to immigration. The police take me to immigration, told me that they're going to let me get my paper without her because she was filing for me. So I already did that. But I'm really concerned about the baby. If I drop the case, will be okay for get my green card?
How do I know? I don't know anything about your case. And why is it that the police say it's okay for you to get your green card? The police have nothing to do with you getting a green card.
Because they take me to immigration. They said that it is a domestic dispute.
So it's a domestic dispute. That doesn't mean you get a green card. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know anything about what happened. You need a consultation, and then we'll figure it out. So hold on one second, all right? Thanks for watching. For more Bradshaw Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.